Hello, I'm Kat Tillinghast with West Coast Yoga and Sports Therapy. I'm a yoga therapist. We're just going to do a couple of movements today for creating some space for neck and upper back and shoulders for people with neck pain, shoulder pain, upper back pain. First, coming to a child's pose position and just resting with one ear on the mat, and then carefully lifting our bodies up as we make sure to exhale as we turn the head and lower down and stretch back. Just a simple start. Just having the head turn relieves a lot of pressure in the cervical spine. And yoga therapists help people with chronic pain and many other chronic imbalances. This is a special kind of yoga to ease pain in the body, and we can do this ourselves on a regular basis, taking up very little time. You notice I'm reaching the arm up as I inhale, coming up to the knees, and then bending the elbow and bringing the arm behind the back to open and strengthen the upper back as I turn the head. And I'm doing both sides. And I might do 6 or 12 times on each side, but notice how I'm really paying attention to my breath as I come up with the inhale. And as I exhale, I turn the head. So it's really turning on the body's healing systems. And as we breathe and move, we start to relax the autonomic nervous system. And it really is where we start losing relaxation when we forget to breathe and we start tensing up. It all works together. So breathing, moving. And when we're finished with that, make sure that you press yourself up nice, and notice that I was using the blanket to pad my knees. And then we'll go into the next exercise. Coming up to standing at the front of the mat, I'm going to do some dynamic variations of Warrior One pose, stepping the left leg back, turning the left toes out just enough, making sure my hips are squared forward, bending the front knee 90 degrees. I'm going to inhale the arms up and exhale the arms back as I spread the fingers wide and draw the thumbs to the back wall. I'm strengthening my upper back. And then to stretch, I'm just bringing my hands over my heart and bringing my chin to my chest. And you can move in and out of this pose if you like, or you can hold Warrior One if you have a strong lower body. What we're really working on is the upper back and shoulders and neck, strengthening as we inhale. And then exhale, chin to chest. Moving slowly with our breath. Maybe doing 6 on each side. Maybe 12 on each side. And then I'm just going to bring the hips to the left side of the mat to come into Trikonasana, triangle pose, stacking my shoulders here with the right hand above or below the knee. Keeping the body in one straight line as if my back were up against the wall, but notice I'm moving the head, creating space in the cervical spine. I'll inhale and look up, and exhale and look down. And as that arm is up and back, the shoulders are strengthening. Maybe reaching my top arm back with the elbow bent, just like I did in that child's pose, to create more space and strength and opening in the upper back. Really want to make sure that you do both sides. So I'm going to come back and do those Warrior Ones. Variation of the pose, so that we're really concentrating on the upper back and neck and shoulders. And as you inhale, the shoulder blades are coming together in the upper back, which really creates strength and stability. And you get a nice stretch as you exhale. Making sure that we're standing tall. And always thinking about the feet. feet are really grounding down. You don't want to lift the toes or the heels. Practicing mindfully with breath. So strengthening and healing our whole body. Just moving and breathing dynamically in and out of poses calms the central nervous system. And then coming back into Trikonasana, lengthening as we reach over. I like the hand above or below the knee to make sure that we're not pressing into that knee joint. And then again, with the shoulders as stacked as we can get them, one arm over the other. Try lengthening the neck by inhaling, looking up, and exhaling and looking down. And you can actually do this pose against the wall to make sure that your back is flat. And we see that we really don't need to bring the hands too far down to the floor in this pose. Better to concentrate on creating opening and space here. Bringing that right elbow back, right shoulder back, and then coming back to standing. I'm going to bring my feet together and just take a moment to check in. Hands at the heart, Anjali Mudra, before I move into the next pose, which is a standing twist to release pressure in the cervical spine, the neck, placing the block in front of my toes, coming forward, keeping my knees soft or bent. I'm going to twist and I'm going to bring my right hand in front of the block, and it really doesn't have to be in front of the toes. It's just important that, again, I'm stacking my shoulders. And here you can see, I'm going to start the head movements again. So I'm releasing pressure in the neck, which also releases pressure in the upper back and the shoulders. Feet are relaxed and grounding down. I'm going to make sure and bend my knees to come up. So I want to come up without bringing any undue pressure to the low back or the backs of the legs, and just switch sides. Block can be down in front of the face as we're just turning the head from side to side, releasing pressure. And creating space. Twisting is always good for the spine as it releases the pressure and makes space between the vertebrae. And then coming back up and coming back to the floor. I'm going to do some child's poses again. Bringing the big toes together, but the knees can be open and arms are going to rest alongside the body. So it's really the same thing as when I started. I rest with the head turned to release some pressure in the neck and the upper back and the shoulders. It's a variation of child's pose. Nice little in between. And then we're going to come all the way down to the belly. And I'm going to place my hands on my low back and my palms are up, and I'm just going to inhale and lift the upper body as I reach the arms up, bend the elbows, and turn the head, looking over the shoulder. I'm inhaling and looking down and reaching forward. Exhale, lifting the upper body and twisting. This is a variation of Shalabhasana, locust pose. Moving and breathing. And for what we're trying to do here, we're leaving the legs and the feet on the floor. Maybe engaging the thighs by lifting the kneecaps to keep the legs working, but mostly concentrating on the neck and then resting on one side. Again, I like to do maybe 6 or 12 of these. And make sure you're even as you turn the head and rest on each side before you press back and stretch again to child's pose. Reaching your arms forward this time and maybe bringing the forehead to the mat. Hips back toward the heels. And I inhale and rise up and just sit back on the heels. Roll onto one hip and swing the legs out in front for another twist. Bringing the left knee in. Placing the left arm out behind me. Notice I'm on my fingertips and my spine stays tall as I inhale the right arm up and maybe bring that elbow to the outside of the knee. And again, we're working with the neck, so it's all about the movement in the upper body. Moving as we breathe. Looking over one shoulder and the other shoulder. Sitting up nice and tall, making sure we're grounding down through our sitting bones. Keeping that leg that's on the mat with a flexed foot, so the toes are pointing up. And again, one arm out behind. Opposite arm is going to go to the outer edge of that knee, possibly, if that works for you. Keep yourself sitting up nice and tall. As you move and breathe, releasing, creating space. And I might take 6 breaths or 12 breaths. And when I'm done with my twisting, I'm going to come in and do a little back bend, setting up my knees and feet hip distance with the back on the mat. Maybe just rolling the head from side to side, releasing any pressure in my neck. And this back bend is nice for the whole back, but again, specifically we're targeting the neck and upper back and shoulders. So as I inhale, I don't worry about the hips coming up high. I'm going to send my right arm up and turn my head, bring the left ear to the mat as I exhale. And then as I inhale, coming back to center with the head. And as I exhale, I lower down. I'm going to do both sides. Again, extending the arm up and back as I inhale. And with the exhale, try not to pick the head up as you turn and bring the ear to the mat. And the inhale brings the head back to center. And as we exhale, we lower down, slowly rolling down one vertebra at a time. Maybe lengthening the low back toward the backs of the knees, strengthening the whole body, making sure the feet are grounded down. And again, the tendency is to lift the head to roll. See if you can do that without lifting the head, turning the neck without lifting the head. Sometimes we have to take our ponytail out to do that. I like to do a lot of these. This is one of my favorite poses. It releases a lot of pressure in my neck. Of course, if you have a healthy back, you're really getting a twofer doing a back bend and turning the head. After maybe 6 or 12 sets, I'm just going to come back to my back and then turn and roll to one side and press myself up. To set up for Shavasana pose, I'm going to take a blanket because I really want to rest in a soft back bend. So I want to have some space and opening in my spine. As I rest. And again, we're targeting the upper spine, and the upper back, neck, and shoulders. So that blanket's soft. I'm just going to roll it and get comfortable and lower down. I actually like to feel that blanket is just below my shoulder blades so that my neck can open and head release down. Heart has a little lift. Chest has a little opening, a little space. A lot of tension and tightness in the chest region causes upper back pain. So we're stretching the chest. And here we can rest and close the eyes and just let go of the breath. Doing a soft back bend. And I like to take Shavasana for 5 or 10 minutes. But for our purposes today, we're just going through one pose after another. So after Shavasana, a little movement in the body to roll to one side again and press up. After every yoga practice, I like to take a moment to just be thankful that I'm a yoga therapist and I can practice self-care. And even without being a yoga therapist, you can practice self-care and heal your own body.